Welcome to this week 6 update, and I want to walk you through all of the progress since the last update video. Here I'm standing in the first room on the ground floor facing the front, and as you can see we're still in its back to brick state, and the main change in this room is that we've now bricked up this part of the wall to separate us from this room and also the room next door. The next stage in this room is really just to clear out the waste and also the material to start the boarding process. If I stand on this side of the room just to walk you through what will start to happen also next. So we're going to move this door from where it is down to allow us to put the wardrobe in that corner over there. And then if I come back into the hallway, we are going to reposition this front door back to its original position, giving us a longer hallway, which would make sense given the fact that we're going to move the door from where it is to sort of starting from here downwards. So that's going to work out quite neatly, and you're probably going to see that maybe in week 9 or the week 12 update. So coming into the second room on the ground floor, which is in the middle of the property, I'll show you what it looks like on this side as it's been bricked up. On this side of the room, we're going to have the bed in that corner over there. The other change that has happened is we've now fitted the concrete lintel, which has been advised by a structural engineer. We've got the weight above, and so what was there was okay, but it wasn't completely adequate. So it's just best off being, better safe than sorry, and have the concrete lintel in place. If I stand in this position here, you can get a good view of what this room will look like, or the thinking. We're going to have a hallway that gives you access coming from the front of the door into the kitchen. The bed will be over there, wardrobe over here, and then sort of desk in the corner. In this area here, we're going to use for the ensuite for that room there. We're also going to knock out some of these bricks here to create a very small window, which will just give us a little bit of natural lighting. And as I'm backing up now, I'm coming into the kitchen space. But what I want to show you is how we have started on the process to separate the water connection. So we've dug the ground, as you can see, just sort of follow it through, and then it goes out into the front. In fact, let me just walk all the way through just to show you. So we've dug all the way underneath the ground where that connection there is, and that's ready now for Angling Water to come and complete their part to separate the water connection so that we have the right pressure for all 6 tenants, and we've separated it from the other 2 properties next door. We've now backfilled it with sand, and then once we get to the relevant level, we'll just concrete over and level off the floor. As I come back here, just to give you a perspective, we're going to knock down some of this wall to give us that continued access from the hallway coming in to the kitchen. So it'll be sort of diagonal, coming across here, diagonal, and then that will bring you into the kitchen space here. I don't want to show you too much of the rear extension just yet. So if I come back just a bit more, you can start to see from, if the ensuite is sort of in that section there, all of this space here will then be used for the kitchen. So we have some worktop units there. The sink will be over here. We're moving this door down to down here. And one of the things that the guys have done is we've got another concrete lintel here, which is again advised by the structural engineer. The guys have made a mistake by fitting a concrete lintel here because we're going to move this door, so that will get taken out. Something I've picked up on is why it's really important to, as the investor or the client, to come on site and check your projects. Is I'm not necessarily happy with the finish here. So it's almost like half of engineering bricks that have been used. You've got 3 engineering bricks here. The top one is slightly slanting based on the cement work. So I'm going to speak to the build team about that, and I want that to be better finished. The gaps in this area here will just be filled. But these are the things that you're looking out for to understand, is it the best finish and where do we need to redo it? So what I'll do now is I'll come back here and swing the camera around so you can see what a property looks like once you have knocked out the back wall to start working on the rear extension. And I personally love this stage of the project because, it's as raw as it gets. So this is the rear extension. We've got a 6-meter rear extension, and it's also wider than our last project. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to finish off. If I just bring this up here, you can sort of see what it looks like as the roof has been taken off, and we've knocked out the bricks in that area here. We've got the steel beam going across here for the adequate support. So I'll just walk into the extension to show you around. So we've got our membrane here, which is where the floor will start from. So the guys will, of course, remove all of the bricks and material at some point out to start working on leveling the floor. We've got one window that'll be here and a nice big window at the back for natural lighting. This gives you a view of what the installation looks like. So you've got 100 brick, 100 insulation, and then your 100 brick on the outside as well. And then here you can see just how big this window will be facing the rear. And if I spin the camera around, you can see exactly what it looks like from this point of the rear extension right through to the bottom of the property. This roof will be put back, and the roof for the rear extension will be flat, so it won't be a pitch roof. And that's going to also be the stage that we'll see next. So by the next update video, the roof should have been put on for the rear extension. So with that, I'll take you upstairs and show you now how we are making progress on the first floor and also going into the loft. And one other thing also is here, you can see the gaps and the light showing from the stairs. So we're going to completely remove these stairs and fit brand new stairs because they're not adequate to stay. We thought they would be okay, but as the guys started bringing materials in, walking up and down and working on the property, they've sort of really worn down and they won't be adequate to last and provide for the tenants that will live here. So just come up to the top of the stairs. You can see we're still in its back to brick state. This is going to be one of the rooms which is connected to the middle part, which I'll show you. Over here, this is what it looks like when you remove the chimney breast from the ground all the way up. So we've taken off the chimney stack for us and also the next door neighbor. Here, we've put in a concrete lintel for the adequate support. And if I spin the camera around, you can now see what the first floor looks like. We've removed the wall that was separating the existing bathroom and main bedroom. I'll come to the loft stairs in a second, but it really starts to take shape. You can start to get a perspective. So over here, this will be part of the room that's over there. So this space here will be all one room. So we're going to have the bed, the wardrobe and desk in that area over there. And then we'll have a kitchenette across that wall with a sofa, and the passageway will be through here. Above here, we've got another concrete lintel that we have fitted. Our hangers are now pinned down, which means that the ceiling above has been done. I'll walk you across to this side to also show you how we have finished on this side of the room. Hangers have been pinned down. We've got our concrete lintel above this window here, and then another concrete lintel fitted above this window here. One of the things that the build team have done, which I think is very smart and good thinking, is we've taken out 2 bricks from above here, just where the wooden beams are sitting, and that has allowed us to create a better head height for the loft above and slightly lowered the ceiling for this room, but still gives us a great head height. So we had more than enough head height to work with on the first floor, and it's going to work out really well for above. So yeah, this is just giving you a view of what it looks like when the ceiling, woodwork and beams have been fitted extremely well. We have another steel beam going across the middle, so engineering bricks here and sitting on engineering bricks over here as well. I'll just stand back here and just show you, because now we haven't got any walls. Where I'm standing now is one main bedroom, which will be about 13-14 meters squared. that section there, because that's where the original existing wall used to be, that section there will be used to create the ensuite, one for that room and then this, and then one for this room here. So that's the space. But as the weeks progress, the guys will finish up on the carpentry and remove all of the materials, and then we'll start to put in the necessary walls to start dividing up the space on the first floor. So I think by the next update video, we'll start to see exactly how we have laid out the first floor. But what's really neat about this project compared to the other one is because we've taken out all of the walls and we've made the house in effect lighter, you can see just before we put the partition walls up what it looks like, which I think is really cool and neat. So now I'm going to show you the final room, which is upstairs. So we've built these stairs from scratch. This was not on the last video. And if I just stand here and spin the camera up, you can see again how we've continued the woodwork and the beams to finish off the dormer upstairs in the loft. So come in here and spin the camera around quite nicely. This will give you a nice view of what it starts to look like upstairs. So a couple of things. One, we've got really good size windows on this side. As you know, I'm really big on natural lighting. So where we can, let's fit some really good windows. You get a nice view of what it looks like at the back. So this will be a great view for the person that's living upstairs here. And then if I spin it around here, I can show you how we are thinking, how we have thought about laying out this room. So we're going to have our bed in that corner over there, desk in between, and then there'll be an ensuite. We'll be using that space there for the ensuite. We're going to put up a partition wall here and also across there. The wardrobe is going to be here, fridge freezer unit over there, and then all of this will be the floor space. So if I come over to this side, one of the things I want to mention is that we took a decision to completely remove the roof because we could not keep the existing wooden beams. They were not big enough to then be able to fit or attach these on. Because as you can see here, for example, so the original thinking was we keep the existing wooden beams and then we'll just fit the new wooden beams, which will be for the dormer that goes across here and down. But the structural engineer had another look. We sorted for some advice, and that wouldn't, you know, it's not the best route to go down. We were even thinking about putting a wooden beam on either side of the existing beams, but they weren't deep enough. So say, for example, the existing beams were maybe about that size there. So we decided to completely remove the roof. I pay extra to get it done properly. So what you see here is a completely brand new roof, same tiles, but we've got our new membrane, and it's just, as you can see here, a really, really good, strong, sturdy, firm roof. One note about the stairs, when you're building out stairs for a loft, typically the way to design it is you have your stairs coming in facing the rear of the loft and then coming inside. You wouldn't necessarily having it coming up facing the front. So that's just something which sometimes I think people wonder about. Another steel beam going across here, and what you see here are the tiles that are going to go on the outside of the dormer. So here we just have the membrane, and then we'll get our wooden pieces to go across, and then we'll nail in our tiles. So that's it for week 6, and I look forward to showing you how much progress we make on our week 9 video.